Where the heck? I could have swore I saw them. There's some more sales here somewhere. I don't know. I thought I saw them. Oh, jeez. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know the video already started. I was just down here looking for some more eBay sales. I was sure I had some more here somewhere, but I can't find them. Hey, I'll be right up. Just give me a second to dust myself off.
A few minutes later.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mark Lemon's Postcards. So sorry for that confusion at the beginning. I was just trying to scrape up some more eBay sales for the week, but I had no such luck. So we are here to talk about what sold, and maybe this video might be a little shorter than normal because we didn't sell a whole lot this week on eBay, but we did our darnest. Ellie, Lucy, and I worked as hard as we could and did our best. So here's what we did. Looking at our sales for the week, we see we sold a total of $387.43. That was down significantly from last week. We sold a total of 53 items. That also was down from last week. And our average sale price was $7.31 an item, and that was down significantly too. So, as we have mentioned here many times before, eBay is like riding a roller coaster, and sometimes we have highs and sometimes we have dips, and I guess this is one of our dips, but we must soldier on nonetheless. So let's see what made up those 53 items that we did sell. First up, our first buyer purchased two items. This first one is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is the Eliza Furnace by night. Maybe a little hard to see that because it is a night view. There you can see the factories along the river. This is a divided back card. It was posted in 1913, as you can see there. And that one sold for $5.95. Again, same buyer also purchased this card. This is the First Presbyterian Church in Braddock, Pennsylvania, which is kind of a suburb of Pittsburgh. So both cards from the same general area. This also a divided back card posted in 1910. That one sold for $4.95. So that was a total of $10.90. Next up we have a trade card. And the next two trade cards, both to the same buyer. This one is Easter Greetings from Lion Coffee and the Woolson Spice Company. If we take a look at the back here, you'll see Lion Coffee. Lion is the king. Woolson Spice Company, Toledo, Ohio. And this card has a little bite out of the top left corner here. And also this card is a little unusual because of its size. It's much larger than the typical card. This one is 5x7. So larger than your typical trade card, which is usually postcard size or smaller. So this one sold for, I took an offer on this one of $4.50. And the next card that this person bought was this one. This one is again Lion Coffee, manufactured by Woolson Spice in Toledo. You can see the little boy on the swing here. This one was listed for $7.95, and I took an offer of $6.50 on that one. And that one was just your more regular size trade card. So two trade cards to the same buyer for a total of $11. Next up we have the lineup of the Grand Prix race in Watkins Glen, New York. This is a linen era card. It is unused, as you can see there looking at the back. And I've actually sold this card a couple times. And this time it sold for $9.95. Here's a view in Ligonier, Pennsylvania, which is not too far away from us here in Greensburg. This is a view of Main Street. And as you can see at the time of this particular card, Main Street was just a dirt road. This is, again, a divided back card. I can't quite make out the postmark there, but I would say definitely early, very early 1900s. And this one was listed for $9.95, and I took an offer of $8. Here is a view in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. This is Penn and Shaw Avenues. Take a little closer look. You can see there's a wagon parked out on the street, and you can see some storefronts there and their signage. It is again, divided back era card, posted in 1909. And that card was listed for $9.95. I took an offer of $8.50. Next up, we have a scene at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. This is a stagecoach, and you can see it says, "Our compliments." Stagecoach pulled by a six-horse team there. It is a Chrome era card, and if you look on the back of the card here, you can see it lists the horses in the team. It lists their names. I do sell a fair amount of cards from Knott's Berry Farm. It's a popular topic. And this one sold for $4.95. Next up, we have a view in El Dorado Springs, Missouri. This is Spring Street looking from the Commercial Hotel. We can see this card was posted in 1910, which makes it a divided back card. Although when we look at the front, you might say, hey, that looks like a white border card. It does have a white border. But the postmark tells us a slightly different story. But I have no doubt there's some crossover between each era. They don't start and stop perfectly on an exact date. So we see white border cards that are earlier than the actual white border era, and we see divided back cards that are newer than the divided back era, but so not an uncommon thing. This particular view was listed for $9.95, and I took an offer of $7.50, mainly because I've had it for a while. You look up here, you can see it was listed in 2018, so that was over 6 years old, and I was glad to move that inventory. Again, sold for $7.50. Here's a view in East Gloucester, Massachusetts. This is Lighthouse Cove, and they are fishermen catching silver hake. I guess that is a type of fish. You can see them there, fishing in the water. You can see their nets. Got two boats there with nets strung out between them. And in the distance, says Lighthouse Cove. I'm not sure. I don't see the lighthouse itself. But this is an undivided back card, and it is completely unused, unposted, unwritten on, as you can see there. Nice looking card, very early 1900s. That one sold for $7.95. Moving on to Topeka, Kansas. This is the new Santa Fe Railroad shops. As you can see there, boy, stacks and stacks of railroad car wheels stacked out there. On the back, we see it's an undivided back card. It is unused and unposted. That card was listed for $9.95, and I took an offer of, let's see, $6.50 on that. I think this card, the buyer and I went back and forth a couple times trading offers on it, and that's what we finally settled on, $6.50. Here is a view in Sonora, California. This is the Tuolumne County High School, a divided back card, unused, unposted. Get a better look at it here. High schools always sell well, as I say. Almost everyone went to high school. That one was listed for $7.95, and that's what it sold for. Here's a neat card. This is from Sharon, Pennsylvania. This is the Colonial Trust Company Bank. This is an advertising card with a calendar on it. This one features June of 1910, as you can see. Saving the pennies, deposit in Colonial Trust. And it has a picture here of some children doing some math problems. On the back, we can see it has writing on it, although it was not posted, but it is clearly dated by the front of the card to be 1910, June of 1910. This card was listed for $12.95. I took an offer of $11. Here is an interesting card. This is a scene in New Bedford, Massachusetts. This is a cow, whale, and calf. You can see the large whale has the calf in its mouth. And there are some ships nearby, probably whaling ships. And this obviously is not an actual scene, as you can tell, but this is taken from a painting that is in the Whaling Museum in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Let's get a better look at it. You can see there the original painting has cracks in the canvas that you can see there on the card. Those are not creases in the card. That was actually from the painting itself. And this is a chrome error card, unposted, and it's kind of a new, I don't know that I've ever sold a card that had to do with whaling, so that's a new topic for me. And that one sold for $5.95. Here's a view at Griffiths Air Force Base in Rome, New York. This is a giant statue erected during World War II. Let's get a better look at him there. You can see he's a rather rough-looking fellow, and he's got a helmet on there and a stern look on his face. Chrome error card, posted in 1954, so a little bit after World War II. And here we see a serviceman looking up at him. And that chrome era card sold for $5.95. Here is another World War II related card. This is a Flying Fortress aircraft with the phrase, "Keep 'em flying." There's a series of these type of cards out there with the "Keep 'em flying" logo on there, different aircraft from the World War II era. This particular one was posted in 1950, and you can see it has the typical military free postage cancellation up here. And there is the aircraft itself, linen era. And let's see, this card was listed for $7.95. I took an offer of $6.50. Next, we have a series of cards. This same buyer purchased 9 cards. And if you've watched my videos for any length of time recently, I showed a purchase of some albums I made. And in one of the albums were these cards. It was a series of cards produced or put out by the Walkover Shoe Company. And it featured prominent persons like writers and politicians and just famous people at the time. And there were quite a few of them. And this particular buyer picked out 9 of them. So we're just going to take a quick look at these in order. The first one here is Patrick Henry. And you can see the back of the cards are all identical. They all look like this. And they all have this little blurb at the bottom, published by George Keith Company, makers of walkover shoes, Campello, Brockton, Massachusetts. So we have Patrick Henry, Mark Twain, Oliver Wendell Holmes, John Marshall, Samuel F.B. Morse, Thomas Jefferson, you probably all know him, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Ralph Waldo Emerson. I believe that's the last one, Francis Scott Key. So that was a total of 9 cards, all done by Walkover Shoes. And each one of these cards I had listed for $5.95. The buyer made me an offer on each one of $5 a piece, and I happily took that. So that was 9 cards at $5 for a total of $45. I have no doubt that was my best sell of the week. Moving on, here's something that is not a postcard, and you've seen these before if you watch my videos. This is a embroidered patch from Rolling Rock Beer. Rolling Rock used to be headquartered in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, which is just a few short miles from me here. I've passed the old brewery many times, and this is a embroidered patch from there. I do have a number of items of memorabilia from Rolling Rock, and this is one of them. This particular patch is, see the dimensions of that. It is 9 inches wide by 4 inches high, so rather large, and it sold for $5.95. And according to my eBay inventory here, I'm down to my last one. I think I actually do have a couple more, but I need to check on that and update this if necessary. But we're getting to the bottom of the barrel, no pun intended, on the Rolling Rock patch here. And just a note, I have a collection of Rolling Rock memorabilia. It is something I collect other than postcards. And I have a fair amount of stuff. And one of these days when I have the display ready, I am going to make a video and show you some of that stuff. And it will be a separate video from my What Sold videos. That way, if you're really interested in it, you can see that. And if it's not something that interested, you can just skip it. But haven't gotten to that yet. But when I do, I'll be happy to show you that stuff. I think it's pretty cool and interesting. But moving on. Next card up is in El Paso, Texas. This is the beautiful modern Crest building, as you can see there. I mean, it is beautiful, is it not? This is a Linen era card. It was posted in 1945. And this card sold for $4.95. Next up is a view in Gordon, Pennsylvania. This is Biddle Street looking east. And this card, the reason I'm showing you this one is because I'd like to point out here at the start time, this card was listed in December of 2011. And so this card is more than 13 years sitting on eBay. And you might say, why do you have crap sitting on eBay for that long? Well, it isn't going to sell sitting on my shelf here if I take it off of eBay. So at least on eBay, it had a chance to sell, and it did. So I only say it to point out that once I put things in my store, they just stay there until they sell, or I will pass away, and then my eBay account will be closed. One of those two things is going to happen. But in this case, this card did sell, and I got an offer of $3.75. And I darn well accepted that happily, because it was time for this card to move on to a new owner. So all that just to say, don't be discouraged when things don't sell right away. Sometimes it takes a while for the right person to come along. And in this case, they finally did. Next up, we have a view in Latonia, Ohio. This is the Soldiers Monument, and this monument commemorates the Civil War. It says, "In memory of our soldiers of the Civil War, erected by the ladies of the GAR, the Grand Army of the Republic." And you can see the date there, dates of the Civil War, 1861 to 1865. So, quite an attractive monument. It is a divided back card, not postally used at all. That card was listed for $7.95. I took an offer of $7. Next up, we have a buyer who purchased 4 cards. The first card here is Anne Harding's Hilltop Home in Hollywood, California. This is a linen era card, as you can see. Unused, nice, clean, sharp card there. And if you don't know, I didn't. I looked it up quickly. I suspected, being Hollywood, that Anne Harding was an actress back in the 1920s or so, and that's who she was. This card sold for $4.95. Next card to the same buyer. This is a view of at the University of California in Los Angeles. This is the library building. This is a divided back card, not posted though until 1936. Excuse me, that might actually be a linen era card. There's sometimes linen era cards, you can kind of tell by the finish that they don't have the texture of the linen, but the finish is sort of flat, and it looks slightly different from the divided back. So I correct myself. I think this may be actually a linen era card. But anyway, that one sold for $5.95. And then the next person bought this card. This is a view in Santa Monica, California of the Pacific Palisades Park. This is an area that has no doubt been severely hit by the recent fires out in California, and perhaps that's the reason why this person purchased this. It no doubt no longer looks like this. This is a chrome era card that was, let me get her bigger here, chrome era card that was posted in 1960. You can see the views of the highway going along, and there's the beach and the water there. That one sold for $5.95. And the last card, same buyer again, in Hollywood, California. This is breakfast in Hollywood at Tom Brenneman's restaurant, a famous place for stars to hang out. Actually, this is a postcard lot. I'm sorry, didn't catch that right away. Here you see the first card. There's kind of an overall view of the restaurant. It has an inset here. Let's get these bigger. You can see the exterior of the restaurant here, an interior shot here. Here's another view of Tom and some military people that he's speaking to. Here is Tom and Uncle Corny, a character who was well known at that time. Here is Tom and another gentleman, Misha Auer, and they're counting the contributions to the March of Dimes. They're not counting them, but marveling at the amount of it. Here's Tom outside his Encino home with his family. Tom Brenneman and Annie Cantor. Tom Brenneman with some ladies, including Sonia Henney there, the famous skater. There's the Breakfast in Hollywood song. This was a place that was quite popular at back in the 30s and 40s, and you can see there were total of 10 cards here, it looks like. And that lot of cards sold for $5.95. And so that was a total of 4 cards to the same buyer. I'm not exactly sure what they total up to, but approximately $20 there to that buyer. What else we got here? Here's a nice lighthouse card. This is Maya's Beach Light at Wellfleet Harbor, Massachusetts. You can see the lighthouse there on the front and the caretaker's home. Looking at the back, we can see it is an undivided back card. It is unposted. Someone has written circa 1900 here at the top to give us a more accurate idea of the date of this lighthouse. Nice looking card. That sold for $9.95. And I think this is our last card for today. We have a Valentine. It says, "Your heart is mine, my Valentine." And here we see a cowboy in his cowboy dress, and he's got a lariat in his hand. He's about to rope your heart and pull it in. And we can see this is an embossed card. It is divided back, unposted. Nice looking Valentine card. I do sell some of the nicer holiday greeting type cards, this being one of them. This one was listed for $5.95, and I took an offer of $5. So that is it for the sales on eBay this week, unfortunately. I tried crawling down there in the eBay vault to find some more, but this is all I could come up with. So we'll hope we can find some more for next week. But that's that for this week as far as sales go. And now we're going to take a look at some gas station postcards. Okay, today we're going to take a look at some more postcards from my personal collection. And the topic today is gas stations. We've done some before, and we're going to do some more today. First up, you see the Northern Pines Oasis filling station in Ausable Chasm, New York. This is a nice white border card and is so typical of early gas stations in this country. They not only supplied gas for your car, but something for you to eat. So when you're making your trip on the road, you can fill up yourself and your car. Here we see in this one, we've got our gas pumps out front. Looks like Texaco based on the star I can see. And over here to the right is a restaurant. It says meals and lunches, I'm sorry. And you can see some other signage around there. A nice looking card from the white border era. Next up, we have the OK service station in North Warren, Pennsylvania. This is a linen era card. And again, we can see the Texaco Pegasus over the door there. And this is a linen card. Here we see the pumps out front. Looks like maybe the station owner or manager is standing in front. And as I said, that is a linen era card. Next up, we have a combination card. This is the Dawn D cabins in Newmarket, Virginia. And at the cabins there, they also sold gas. So you could stay overnight and fill up your car for the next day's travels. Here we see at the bottom a picture of the whole business here. Here you can see a center building, which probably also features a restaurant with gas pumps out front. And we see little cottages to either side of that building. And here at the top, we see some interior views. Here's what the bathrooms look like. Nice tile bathrooms, very modern for the times. And here is a look at the bedrooms. Small, but adequate. And this card, I believe, is a photochrome era card. Here's a view in Columbia, South Carolina. This is Straits Cabins. So again, as typical, we have a place to stay overnight, but you can also fuel up your car. And the building here doesn't advertise a restaurant or anything, but little sign out here does say beer, so you can no doubt maybe at least get some drinks and snacks in there. But here you see the main building with the gas pumps out front, big SO sign here. And the cabins are over here to the right. And this is a white border era card with the blue sky feature, where the card is all black and white except they have blued the sky in. Next we have an interesting one. This is Clark's Super Service Station in Mercer, Pennsylvania. And this is surely a colorful card. It's a big fancy building. I don't know if I would call that Art Deco style, not sure, but it certainly is eye-catching with the big, large green roofs there. Here it says Clark Super Service. Looks like there might be a little restaurant here in the back. Pumps out front here with the big covered, you got your portico, so we pull in if it were raining or had bad weather. You could at least be out of the weather while you filled up your car. That is a white border era car, very colorful. Here is the Twin Gables service station. Twin Gables was located in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, near the interchange with the Pennsylvania Turnpike. You can see this is an Atlantic station. Obviously got some signs on the roof and out here by the pumps. Some old cars and trucks in the lot. Trucks, no doubt, being near the turnpike, get a lot of truck traffic there. And as I said, that's a linen era card. Next up, another one. Well, this is Clark's again. Only this is Clark's Model Service Station in Stoneboro, PA. So this card is a little different than the other, but you see Clark's obviously has a theme going on to their buildings. This looked very similar to the one 2 cards ago. Here we see they sell Sterling gasoline, and it got some big tanks there on the property to hold fuel, so you'll never run out. Here is the big green roof, eye-catching from a distance, and here are the pumps out front. And that one is a white border era card. Next we have Braun Store and Post Office in Germania, PA. But aside from the store and the post office, they also have gasoline. So that is why they are in the gas station category today. Here we see the pumps to the left here. Can't quite make out the brand of gas that they sell. But here is the store and the post office then to the right. And this is a white border era card. Here is a chrome era card. This is Webster and Chaffee's Auto Court. And that is on the Redwood Highway between Eureka and Crescent City, California. And you can see this is a multi-view card. At the bottom we have gas pumps. Right here. Here's a sign over here for Chevron. And back here we see cabins, and the upper part of the card gives us a closer view of those cabins. So again, you can stay overnight, rest up, and gas your car up in the morning to continue on your travels. Another black and white card. This is in South Hill, Virginia, and we are looking at D.W. Flippin's Sinclair Station. If you look off to the right, you can see a street here. So this is the actual town of South Hill, and they look like they might be on the end of town, going out of town. Here is your Sinclair Station. You can see the signs there, a real big one over here on the wall of this building, and the gas pumps, as well as a sign out by the street. And as I said, a black and white card. This one's not posted, so I don't know the era, but I would guess late 30s to early 40s. This is Prince's Place on Newfound Lake in Bristol, New Hampshire. Here you can see the building at the right with the sign above saying Prince's Place. And a little further down, we have the gas pumps and the Sicconi gas. I can see that sign down there. Some old antique automobiles. It looks like this sign over here says bungalows for rent with running water, electric, something, cooking facilities. So you can, again, stay overnight there if you need to do that, or just stop for gas. This card has been colorized somewhat. It's a black and white card, but they have greened in the trees and the roof on this building. So that's kind of play on the blue sky. Instead of blue sky, we have green trees. So this is in a white border era card. This one's unused. Back to a black and white card, probably again late 30s, early 40s. This is in Wayland, New York. This is called The Forks, near the Finger Lakes. They have modern cabins with running water, toilets and showers, a dining room, and you can get gas and oil there. So here's the service station area over here to the left. You can see the pumps out front and the cabins here in the back. Got some signage out by the road here, says SO and cabins, so you can't miss that. Another black and white. This one's in Duanesburg, New York. This is the Norman Skill Park. And you can see a little building here says eat above the door. So again, a place to eat, stop and eat, get gas for your car. They sell Esso gas, as you can see by the big sign here above the pumps. And this is a photochrome era card. Again, I'd say 30s to 40s. This is a very interesting card here. I really like this one, and this one has some historical background. As you can see here, it says the Lum and Abner Jot 'em Down store in Pine Ridge, Arkansas. And you can see there's a gas station. They sell Esso gas. Here's your pumps. Again, on the building, it says Lum and Abner Jot 'em Down store. And over here's a big sign that says, yes, Mom, this is the Jot 'em Down store. So if you're not familiar with Lum and Abner, I will tell you a little bit about them. Lum and Abner were two characters created by friends and comedians Chester Lauk and Finley Norris Goff. They were both from Mena, Arkansas, and grew up together and went to school together. Their characters became quite popular, and their radio show lasted from 1931 to 1955. The characters became so popular that they also appeared in 6 Hollywood movies during the 1940s, and several things were based on the characters of Lum and Abner. The television program Beverly Hillbillies was based on them, as well as the comic strip Little Abner. Lum and Abner ran the Jot 'em Down General Store in the fictional town of Pine Ridge, Arkansas. Because of their popularity, the citizens of Waters, Arkansas, in which the Jotham's Down store was actually based, changed the name of the town to Pine Ridge in honor of Lum and Abner. Today, the real buildings that I'm showing you in these postcards that the fictional show was based on now contain the Lum and Abner Museum. And I read somewhere that as of 1923, the museum was up for sale. So if no one comes forward to preserve that, we might lose this piece of history. So looking again at this card, you can see that's pretty cool. This was the actual store that the fictional show was based on, and they obviously took advantage of Lum and Abner's popularity and used their name, affixed it to their store, and they even changed the name of the town from Waters, Arkansas to Pine Ridge, Arkansas. Here's another building associated with that show. This is Dick Huddleston's store, and I believe Dick was an actual person in the town of Waters, Arkansas, who Lum and Abner used as another character on their radio program. And this one here says Dick Huddleston of Lum and Abner, as you can see. And down at the bottom it says Dick and his little woman. Dick has just returned from the county seat. Not sure what that's about, but as you can see, he had a little general store, got a gas pump here off to the left, and so another roadside place. And this, I believe, as well as the previous view of the Jotham Down store, were the buildings that were later saved and turned into the Lum and Abner Museum. So that's a little bit of a sidetrack there from our gas station cards, but I thought the history of those two cards was pretty interesting and maybe something you'd never heard of before. So, moving on. Here we are now in Roxbury, New York. This is Perry L. White and Sons Esso Service Center. And you can see there the pumps out front. We've got some signage in the lot here. Coca-Cola, Esso, Atlas, and your typical Esso Happy Motoring. Got your big sign out there along the street. And this station appears like many stations did in the 40s and 50s, even into the 60s era, kind of that Art Deco type of look. This is a Chrome era card. Here's another black and white of the Chrome era. This is Riverside Heated Cabins and Trailer Camp, west of Salem, Virginia. And you can see the big portico there out over the gas pumps. Big sign for Esso Gas, as well as Riverside. And they serve lunches and have drinks there. And you see they got some little cabins back here to the left. So again, one of your typical roadside stops of that era. Here is Dakey's Service Station and Cabins on Route 6 at Steen, Pennsylvania. I can't make out the brand of gas here, but here you see the pumps in front of the building. Again, it's a covered area. And we have your little cabins over here to the left. And here we have the dining room over here. It says tap room in rear and dine and dance over here on the building at the right. Again, a Chrome era card. Early Chrome era. Here is the Kendall gas station in Addison, New York. Looks like they're located at kind of a fork in the road. An advantageous place to be. And here's the building back here, a little bit distant in this view, but here's the gas station itself with your pumps out here, and here's your Kendall sign out here in the front on the where the road forks here. A Chrome era card. This one was posted in 1941. Another black and white. This is Ernest Hoover's Tourist Cabin Camp and Service Station, Livingston Manor, New York. Multi-view, got one of the little cabins inset here to the right, so you can see what that looks like. Here's the service station on the left. They are advertising for pure gasoline and oil products. They are also advertising refreshments and cabins. And I see a Kendall and a Pennzoil sign there, a sign for lunch. So again, typical of that era, meet all your needs in one place. This is Kensinger's service station in Leacock, Pennsylvania. Nice close-up view. We got the covered pumps here so you can get in and out of the weather. A car is pulled in there. I see a nice big Gulf sign out front, so we know kind of gas you can get there. And there's a Coca-Cola sign off here to the right. And it is another early Chrome era view, black and white view. Running down to the end here, just a couple more left. Here we have Smith's Tourist Court in Lynchburg, Virginia. And you can see the signage there, big Gulf sign above the gas pumps. And this is, I can't quite make that out. It looks like it might say cafe there. So we have gas and food and a tourist court. So they have cabins or cottages that you may stay in. And that card was posted. And that looks like 1952 on that one. Next up, we have Mountain View Park, 8 miles north of Bedford, PA on Route 220. And here you see some pumps up here to the left. Also, we have some pumps back here. And might even be one down here. This is a restaurant or a lunchroom area up here. And it's pretty close to the road there, so it's hard to miss when you're going by. This card is unposted. It also mentions tourist camp, cabins, gas and oil. Our coffee is a real bracer. Meals and short orders. And this is the last card for today. This is the Log Tavern in Lewistown, PA. It says cottages with private bath and a restaurant. So there's your cottages to the right, look like little log cabins, and the main building looks like a larger log cabin. Your gas pumps out front, got a sign for mobile gas and for the cabins. So once again, we have the three elements there: a place to sleep overnight, a place to get something to eat, and a place to get fuel for your automobile. So that is the last card for today's look at some gas stations. I hope you have enjoyed that. And next week, we will be back with a look at something else. I'm not sure what that's going to be at this moment. That's yet to be determined, but we'll have something for you. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give us a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do that too. And as always, we'll see you next time.